trip to Italy before we get to the second trip to Italy? Or
Uh,
not?
I was working on a big video project. I mean, putting a lot of time into it with a lot of potentiality that it could bring some serious revenue. And it has just died. Like it has not gone anywhere. So yeah, I was putting a lot of time up to the night to the night that I was going into the airport. Like I had so little time to pack, trying to get some final things rendered out, video, and I left it just sort of feeling like in a shambles in a way, but up to speed enough for it to get started. And then boom, off I went, and sort of spontaneous, like, okay, here we go, go to Madrid first. And I had a couch surfing host, some 20 something, big moppy curly head of hair. So funny. I remember him coming and picking me up from the subway, which was like, okay, finding the subway out. Anyway, it was fun.
And this was your first solo international backpacking trip ever.
Yes.
Okay. And on a scale of 1 to 10, what was your fear? How high was your fear? Or your stress level?
Uh, hmm. I don't know. Like there was a lot of anxiety, I guess, before going or thinking of doing a trip like that. Just the logistics. Maybe a part of it's just a little bit of a lazy, like, oh, there's so many things and unknown things and red tape and bureaucracies and customs and visas and passports and train tickets and booking and flights, and like some of that just gets so, I just start thinking about it and I'm like, oh crap, like I just don't want to deal.
So then, oh, I don't want to interrupt you. Continue.
No, so I think that's almost as much as any fear. It's just the complexity of all that logistics.
You're so spot on. Every international traveler would agree with you right now. So then we're going to just take one more question or two about that trip. 90 days going all around Europe. What was the reason why you went? What was the purpose of that? You had this big project that you just abandoned at home. You don't have the money to do it. There's no reason to do it. And this is a very key question for dreamers who are just fine. Life is fine. You can just be fine. And that was something you and I talked about a lot, is there's nothing wrong with just staying and making a garden beautiful at home. Nothing. If that was the dream and that was the only dream, nothing is wrong with that. So why the freak would anybody actually go through all of the things that you did to dream bigger, to have anything more? Why did you go to Europe?
Okay, so before you gave me the message that came and you left the voicemail, we had been at a angel class or something similar one night, and I was frustrated with, I'd gone to some classes, some workshops taught by a guy who had a near-death experience and came back. Amazing content about navigating into other dimensions, and astro travel is what some people would say, and I won't get into that. There's a lot of side issues there, but anyway, I wanted to get intuitive, like your angel classes teach about getting that intuition, and I see other people start to tap into stuff that, like, wow, that's legit. Like they're not just making that up. There's some legitimate stuff. And I'd had a few interactions. I'm like, okay, I've got an angel here. Like this is legit. It's real. But there seemed to be like blocks that frustrated me. And I was like, how do I open these up? And you asked, have you ever had your heart broken? And we talked about that. And I thought, I don't think I have. And so part of your thing was in the message is like, it's time to get out there. It's time to put your heart out there, go to Europe, put yourself out there. I see you dating a lot over there, different, you know. So that was part of it. Essentially, it was a spiritual quest. I want to open up. I want to progress in intuition and coming to know those voices, that inner voice, trusting it. That was a big motive.
Shaun, you just taught me something, and you're helping me put the dots together, connecting the dots for me, because I remember that phone call back in November 2015, and I remember that one of the things I said that I didn't mean to be dramatic about, but I said this trip, going to Europe, seeing you in Europe, almost feels like life or death. I remember saying that, and I probably freaked you out, so that's on me. but I remember saying that because I don't go around saying that very often. So one of the reasons why I wanted to do this interview is I'm so curious, why would I say something like that? And I was following my heart to do so. And now you've been to Europe twice since I had that dream, and I'm getting something so profound right now, and I want to go deeper into it too, with the second trip that you just took. That that sometimes the life or death isn't that somebody's about to harm us. It's really just the difference between growing or dying, being expanded or being stagnant, and that is life or death. I just got that. Profound. You just opened that up for me, and that's really really wise of us, that we were a partnership for this to happen. You chose life instead of death, and it looked like this. It looked like joy. And let's take a moment, go into that a little bit. If you remember, we had a phone call when you were over in Europe this first time. This will be the last one, and then I want to go into this next trip. But we got a really strong message that the purpose of the trip wasn't to work hard. It was to have joy and succulence, and to live the flavors and the smell,
Uh,
the sensuality of Europe. Can you tell us anything about that?
oh yeah. Okay. So all right. So with this whole intuition thing and getting in touch with the sixth sense, the angelic realm, the spirit world. I was at a chateau in France. It's called Workaway. Workaway.info is the website. If you go there, it's like woofing. Some people have heard of woofing. You can go and work 3 to 5 hours a day for people in doing all sorts of different kind of work projects. Some as simple as speak English to them or your native tongue 3 hours a day, and they'll give you a place to sleep and usually a few meals. So I was in France. I went to help on this chateau. We were going to do the plaster moldings in the ceiling. Beautiful, gorgeous chateau from the late 1700s. That just iconic French architecture, similar to, I don't know, I don't know what it's called, that style, but if you think of the Louvre and that era, it's just gorgeous. So I'm there, and the guy that owns the place was talking about a neighboring chateau that he was the broker that helped sell this chateau. And he's like, I don't like it there. I have a dark feeling when I go there. I do not